Hello guys, Minardi Simsport here again. I'm talking to you today because Dremet from Vision Sim Racing made an interesting video. It's about an experiment that he made where he showcased basically how much fuel you can save with a controller if you don't push the throttle to 100% but only to around about 90. And he also showcased how much fuel you can save by using this technique. And afterwards, quite a few members of our community messaged me and asked me if that means that keyboard is now finally at a disadvantage. And I didn't have a lot of, didn't think a lot about it because I all the time hear things like that, and they never came to reality. So when we drive the official World Championship, the ICSTC, I've never seen any advantage for controller drivers. And so I basically gave the same experiment a go that Dremet did, which is 5 laps at Sugar Hill with the GT car and 300% fuel usage. And he stretched that to 5 laps, so without pitting. And if you just drive normally, you can only go 4 laps. So I did the same experiment with one go, no preparations, nothing, just my standard usual fuel saving technique, and I had the exact same results. So people ask me how to save fuel with the keyboard. The ones who want to know how to save fuel with the controller, check out Dremet's video, although my technique will also work with the controller. I will now show you how I fuel save so you can too, and I hope you learn from it. Let's jump right into it. Alright, so something to keep in mind is to still try hitting your apexes and keep your lines beautiful and clean, even while fuel saving. I see a lot of people who don't do that. They are sloppy with their lines when they're fuel saving because they think they have nothing to lose. They're anyway going slow. But in a race where everybody has to go slow at some point, you can lose or win just as much during the fuel saving stints or laps as you would be able to lose or win in a normal phase of the race. So very important to make sure you hit everything correctly while you're fuel saving and take your lines still serious. And now to the fuel saving part itself. We are using the lift and coast technique here with the keyboard, but you can do it just as much on the controller. And what that is you might know the term from Formula 1, but lift and coast means you lift before the braking point and instead of braking. So in our case in Circuit Superstars, since we do a lot of late lift instead of brakes, that means we are going to lift way earlier than we normally would, and then we roll until the apex. Before the momentum runs out, we hit the throttle again. That's pretty much it basically. So lift and coast, we lift way earlier, and then we hit the apex and we accelerate normally until the next lifting point, and we just lift way earlier than we normally would. As you can see, I would never lift already there. We just make sure we don't run out of momentum, and that's all. So we are a bit under the fuel delta, so we have to roll a little bit more. You can adjust it on the go if you know your numbers before the race. You can make sure that you don't over or underdo it. I overdid it, underdid it a little, so we're gonna roll a little bit more now in this lap, and then we'll easily make it across the finish line. So no disadvantage for keyboard drivers here in fuel saving, and you can do the same technique with a controller. So here's the overall time, 1:59 and 23.179 as a fast lap. I just did this one lap a little bit less fuel saving and a little bit more in the other ones, so that I could put in one quick lap, relatively quick lap. So that's pretty much all there is to it. Of course, one difference you could say there is, and that would be that controller driver might, with going only 90% throttle, they could fuel save on different parts of the track as you. So it could mean you may be approaching the back straight here in Sugar Hill with a high speed and then lift at some point, while the controller player might not do either. He might never go all out because he's only going 90% fuel saving, and he might not lift and coast as much as you. So different attribution to where you do the fuel saving, that could be a difference in terms of how things play out on track, but there's no advantage or disadvantage. You can fuel save just as much on keyboard. So yeah, back to the drawing board for all our mathematicians out there.